Muted. Hello, everybody, and welcome to TRPG, the talk show. We have a miniature episode today. As we don't have our typical two hosts musical guest situation going, because that was just too much to do. Dragon Day's already exciting enough. So today I have a really awesome guest. She is an actor, writer, improviser, game master, dungeon master, TTRPG player, and content creator. Everybody please welcome Aliza Pearl.
Hello. Hi. Yay. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. So we always start off the show with asking what's in your cup. And today I'm drinking the Friday afternoon tea caramel apple from this fall. I still have some left. Surprisingly, because it's really tasty. And it tastes like and smells like those caramel apple lollies. You know the ones I'm talking about? They're like green.
I just had one a couple nights ago. I have some still.
Oh, the nostalgia.
Oh, yeah. Those are my favorite Halloween candy.
Oh my gosh, me too. So much nostalgia. Oh, something happened with the GoFundMe thing. What did I do wrong? Oh, I know what I did wrong. Here we go. That should do it. Nope, I messed it up.
Do we have double captions?
Do we have double captions?
I think we do.
How did that happen?
Magic.
Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the GoFundMe link because that's not what happened. Why do I have double captions though?
In the meantime, I will tell you what's in my cup, or will be in my cup later. I haven't made my tea yet today because I woke up late. Actually, I have a story to fill the time while you do caption stuff. My sister and I are really into tea, and so every once in a while we get each other tea-related gifts. Like I got her mugs, like for Christmas a few years ago or several years ago, and she gave me most recently, she got this like plastic container box, and she made a little tea caddy. And she asked me beforehand, she was like, what are your favorite teas? And I gave her a list and the brands and everything. And then she got them and like put little labels on the tea caddy, and it has a cover and a handle, and it's so cute. So I'm going to have a tea from my tea caddy later. And I think I'm going to have maybe a ginger tea today.
That's awesome.
I'm a big herbal decaf girl. So when I need a little kick, I have ginger or green tea, but my green tea is even decaf because I'm very sensitive to caffeine. So yesterday I had decaf green tea, which was great, but today I'll have ginger.
I figured out why it's showing up twice. It's because I'm not wearing headphones.
Oh.
Yep, it's coming from my mic picking up my speaker, and I'm trying to think where my like earbuds are. And so I just messaged. Okay, my fiance is going to bring me some. So for now, it's going to just show my name, which is you, right. Apparently. And then once I have headphones in, it should just pick up the correct way. Anyway, cool. While we are waiting for that, the good news is there's two of us, so hopefully it's not too confusing. This might be like, it's going to be either the easiest question I ask you or the hardest question I ask you. If you have one, what is your favorite Star Trek series?
I do have one. I think I have two right now. Definitely TNG, The Next Generation. And then the next one that I'm loving, I think it's Discovery. Although Deep Space Nine, I just finished Deep Space Nine all the way through for the first time, and that was just amazing. That series is amazing. So I guess I have a top three. But if I can only choose one, I think it would be TNG.
That's awesome. So putting on headphones did not work. It's still picking us up both. So I'm going to have to ask Daniel what to do to fix that for later. Okay. Because I know they know what to do.
Good thing is one is big and in front and the other is smaller and in back. So it's not like, I don't know. It might not be that confusing for people.
Yeah.
So it might be fine.
Okay, what just happened? Oh, it muted me.
Did something happen? Oh.
It muted me. Okay. Is it working now? Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's one. Oh, wait. No, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's still going to pick up from the thing. That's okay, though. It's fine. I'll figure out how to fix it later. So I heard TNG, and then what was the second part?
I was giving you my top 3 because it's hard to pick just one. But I guess TNG would be the top one, mostly because of nostalgia and also because that was like my formative Star Trek show. And then, TNG is top, and then Discovery and Deep Space Nine are kind of like in the second spot for me.
Relatable. So TNG is what my comm badge is from because I grew up on TNG, and that's what started my love for Star Trek and sci-fi in general. But Deep Space Nine is my favorite series as an adult, and I always joke that Jadzia Dax and Keira Nerys made me gay,
I've heard that from a lot of people.
Yeah, I was going to say, which is a common phrase among us, among sapphics who are also Trekkies.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. So, speaking of Star Trek, you have been to Star Trek and Con in Las Vegas a few times and have done panels there. What kind of panels have you gotten to do there?
Yeah, I think each time I've gone, the panel that I did was with Women at Warp, which is a podcast that I'm now a co-host of. And they had actually just invited me to come be on the panel a few years in a row, or a couple of years in a row. And it was because I, several years ago, was co-writing and co-creating a Guinan prequel series with a friend of mine. And so we had put out some materials from that, some little promo shots of me in character as young Guinan. And we had started had social media that we were posting about the show, and we still haven't made the show. We have the scripts. We've done so many drafts of the script, but we have a draft that we are happy with now. And we're just kind of waiting for the right time to repitch it, because we feel like it's not dead in the water, and it's possible that they might want to make something like that. And now, especially since Guinan is back and she's in Picard, and it's like, okay, maybe this is the time to try to pitch it to CBS. By the way, we've never officially pitched it to CBS. So we're just waiting for the time to try to get in there and actually do it.
That's awesome. I was there the year that they had Whoopi Goldberg and Nichelle Nichols on stage together. Were you there for that?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I missed. I went every other year before and after.
Oh, it was so beautiful. Because they brought up any Guinan cosplayers, and one of the women, I had spoken to her before she went, and she was being a black nerd from New Jersey, and having Guinan on TV was just life-changing for me, and her Guinan costume was so good, and her friend that came with her had the best Loxana Troy costume I've ever seen. It was so good, and so it was just a really awesome thing to get to witness.
Amazing.
Plus, who doesn't love Klingon karaoke? Because that is so much fun.
Yes, it is.
I didn't realize that was the actual actors, when I was saying with them until afterwards.
Yeah. I love how committed those actors, them and the Ferengis, they always kind of show up in costume, and they're so committed to it, and it's so wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a fun place, and I love Quark's Bar that they set up, and it's just I love going there. I feel like the most popular girl at school, which was never an experience for me every time I go there, because I always make new friends. Yeah. Follow up about panels. You've also been in Geek Girl Con, which is here in Seattle. Yeah, that is so cool. Hopefully you come again, because I would love to get together and have lunch and talk about Geek Girl Con, which is such a cute, small convention.
That was really fun.
What panel did you get to do there?
I did Latinx in gaming. I think it was, or in gaming, or in TTRPGs, or in geekdom. It was Latinx in something. Yeah. And it was I say that because I know there were other gamers, but there were also writers and graphic novelists and things like that. So I think it was just like being Latinx in the like geek nerd culture industry.
That's awesome. We did one about being a queer and geeky teacher, and it had a panel where we had a preschool teacher all the way up to a college professor, and that was really cool.
That is cool, yeah.
So when we had Noir Enigma on, they told us about how improv impacts his GMing, and I know that you do improv. So is that something you think plays a role in how you GM or vice versa?
Yeah, definitely. I think it very much impacts the way I GM. I think my game mastering style is because of improv. I do a lot of yes-anding of my players, and I am not really phased that much when things don't happen that I'm expecting. First of all, my expectations are kind of like sometimes non-existent, to be honest. Like, I know what I'm bringing to the table. I'm like, well, I know this is the location they're going to. This is where they're heading. This is who they're going to meet there. But I don't really hold on to my expectations too hard after that, because I know this is a collaboration. My players will do things that I'm not going to expect, and then we just roll with it. And like 99% of the time, I am super delighted by it because I'm not expecting anything in particular. And I'm surprised, and just like, it's really fun to be surprised and delighted by your players.
Absolutely, especially because having been on the GM side a lot, you plan so much that when you have players who are, provide a pleasant surprise, it's very nice.
Yes, it is.
to get that surprise and to have it be novel that way.
I think it's also, there's this like, I think when players show up and have fun in the world and are inventive, I think it's a sign of respect and love for their GM. And I always feel honored that my players care enough to show up and be creative in the moment, and they are inspired by the world that I'm presenting to them. I think it's a compliment, and it's like, it always makes me feel loved. And it's like a big love fest to me. Like, DMing and GMing is just like giving love and receiving love from your players by just showing up and being creative together.
I've made some of my favorite friends ever by playing games together. It's very good to like a way to connect with each other. I've been like trying to get my my teammates at work to play because I think that it would be a really fun way to bond. So how did you get into TTRPGs?
Well, improv got me into TTRPGs basically because back in 2017, I was doing a show called The Improvised Generation, which is an improvised Star Trek TNG style show. And we've been doing it since 2015, and we actually still do it now, but we've been on and off hiatus. Especially during the pandemic, we moved it from a stage show to an online show, and now we're kind of in between seasons, basically. But back in 2017, we had been doing it for a couple of years. I'm one of the co-producers and co-directors, and my friend Hector Navarro had been working with Geek and Sundry for a little bit, like as a host. He knew that I did Star Trek improv, and he had just been cast as the captain of their new Star Trek TTRPG show called Shield of Tomorrow. And so he was like, I guess they were like, hey, do you know any other people who would be good for this? And he was like, my friend Aliza does Star Trek improv. And so they brought me in for an interview. I met Eric Campbell, who's one of my dear friends now, and my like forever GM and co-GM too. And so now, that's where it all began for me, 2017. And I have never stopped playing since then.
I think it's so much fun. And it's so with the right people, and it's so cathartic. And for those of us who like acting, it's such a like when you're not, like I can't do theater right now. It's panini, and so being able to get that acting bug out of me by playing characters is just so much fun. And I love like getting swept up into the stories, especially during COVID. It's been a really great way to like forget the rest of the world for a while and pretend to be someone else who doesn't live in a world that's currently in a pandemic.
Right. Exactly.
What's your favorite TTRPG to play, and does it change if you're GMing?
Ooh, Ooh, that is a good question. Favorite to play? Oh goodness, I'm not sure because I guess oh goodness, I hate to sound basic, but I think D&D because I find there's so much more to discover all the time with me anyway. Because I'm relatively new. You know, I've been playing for 5 years. I've been GMing for 4-ish years. And as a player and as a DM, I'm constantly learning Dungeons and Dragons as I go. So I find it, I like being challenged and I like learning. So D&D. But then also, I will say, as a GM, I had a great time GMing Call of Cthulhu this past winter on Becca Scott's channel, The Good Time Society. That is a really fun system to run. And so, yeah, I think that those are my answers. D&D as a player and Call of Cthulhu as a game master.
That's awesome. Well, and as a person who's made a bajillion characters in D&D Beyond, I can agree that D&D has so many options and so many ways you can change things and do things, and there are a lot of rules, and so it can be a lot, but it's also very fun.
I found it daunting for a while, so I didn't I didn't start dungeon mastering for a while because I was just trying to soak up knowledge and learn it. And then once I finally dove in and started being a dungeon master, now I'm hooked. I love it. I love running D&D too. So, yeah.
Yeah. Once you learn the rules, it is really fun to play. And that's another one where your players can really surprise you because there are so many different things you can do.
Yes.
And I was running the same module over and over again as a professional GM, and every time it would be buck wild. Like every time it would be different. And I run that same thing in Monster of the Week. I ran the same theme in Monster of the Week, and again it was just buck wild, every time it's been different, and so players will really get into things and surprise you. So you know the two-stat games like Lasers and Feelings or Honey Heist, if you were a two-stat tabletop role-playing game, what would be your two stats?
It would be manic and sleepy. Manic would be not with a negative connotation, more actually with a just neutral/positive connotation. Manic is when I can just blast through a TTRPG source book, when I can get a lot of emails out, when I can have a day full of games and meetings. That's manic. And then sleepy is pretty self-explanatory. Can I rest?
All those things.
Exactly. The days when I don't do those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as a very busy person, and I know you have a call time here pretty quick for Delivery Dragons, which you're GMing. Can you share anything about the adventure our dragon postal workers will be going on?
Just that this group is it's going to be real fun. This group is really interesting, and I imagine there's going to be lots of chaos.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's going to be such a chaotic group. I can't wait to watch. So is there anything you want to tell us about? I know you've got lots of projects. What do you have going on?
Yeah, so I have a few. I'll try to keep them brief, but I have I work with Streampunk's TTRPG, which is a group that kind of became a group initially at Geek and Sundry with Shield of Tomorrow, and we've been playing together for several years now. Now we're our own independent TTRPG group, but we have some ongoing shows and new shows that are coming out soon. So Metagame is a monthly game show that I run on our Discord, so it's only for our coffee supporters. And every month we bring in a new indie game for us to meet. Metagame.
Oh, that's cute.
And so last month we played Neverland 5e, and it was run by one of the creators, Diana Gaeta. And next month, February, I still haven't chosen the game yet, but I have a long list of amazing TTRPG designers who I want to have on the show. So that's one thing. And then Streampunks also has a game called Seven Raven that we're doing a 4-shot of right now. We are doing that. It's a Forbidden Lands game, so it's like a survival high fantasy thing. And we're doing that as a lead up to our next big long-term campaign, which is Changeling the Dreaming. I feel like it's a very like niche World of Darkness system that not a lot of people know about, but the people who know about it are super into it. So we're excited to have this be our main campaign for a while. That's going to be launching sometime in the next month-ish. Stay tuned. And then I'm also going to be, Omicron and COVID willing, I'm going to be doing some events, like running games at events this year. So I am signed up for GaryCon, which is Luke Gygax's convention in Geneva, Wisconsin, honoring his dad and the original creators of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm going to be running the Call of Cthulhu module that I created for Becca Scott's show, which is called Embrujado. And then I'm also going to be running an underwater D&D adventure where everyone plays aquatic creatures. And no, you don't get a penalty for fighting underwater because you're an aquatic creature and your weapons. I'm going to give everyone weapons that like don't have any penalties underwater. Because that's something I, as a player, have always wanted to do, just like be underwater. And then in September, I'm going to be running also a bigger underwater campaign for D&D in a castle. I'm super excited about that. Yeah, it's my first time going to that event, and I'm just super thrilled. We're going to basically take that little underwater adventure I do at GaryCon, and it's going to be a full campaign. People are going to be in a castle playing it in England, and it's just going to be so dope. And I can't wait.
Oh my gosh. Someday I want to go to there. And I want to play in costume because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I hope that you're going to wear tiaras and princess clothes and all of that.
I'm trying to figure out what my underwater, like who is the NPC I'm going to dress as from that game.
For my Waterdeep High, I did a Waterdeep High School camp like mini thing, one shot that I would run over and over again, and I dressed like the class president every time. So I wore like a little cardigan with like I made a logo and printed it, taped it to the cardigan and like did the whole thing. Dressing up in costume just like gets me in the right mood, and it's just so much fun. Take any opportunity to dress in costume. Before we go, I have some giveaways to do, and I almost forgot, so I'm really glad I didn't. So I'm giving away 5 copies of the Kitten Slay Dragons album from former Sarah Donner was on our show, our first episode of this talk show ever, and has provided some albums for us. And then we also have a Session 0 web code, and so I'm going to draw. So type dragon into the chat, and I'll wait a moment, and then we're going to draw 5 names for the codes, and then 1 more for the wonderful CD of geeky songs from some very talented musicians. So wait a moment.
Very exciting.
So exciting. Make sure you type dragon in the chat.
Type dragon in the chat. Type dragon in the chat.
All right. Let's see. Wow. Why isn't it? It's not showing up everybody. It's not showing everybody on there. Come on now.
Type dragon in the chat. Type dragon in the chat.
There we go. That's got more people on the list. All right.
But only type it once.
That's true.
Car Beep 2X says.
Yeah, that's my fiance.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Car.
Hi.
So it's like, and so whenever we tell people her name, like she has to go Car. You know, like the vehicle. Beep beep. You know?
Car Beep Beep. Yep. Oh, that's the 2X.
Yep.
I thought it was Car Beep. Car Beep.
You know. That's a good point. Her other name was Car Beeps 2 times, and then she lost she couldn't remember her password, and so she created a new profile, and now, it's a mess.
Car Beep 2 times.
So yeah, Car Beep Beep. All right, let me go ahead and roll these giveaways. So we're going to do the first 5 for our... there we go. Well, let me do it again. So we've got Sphinx won one of the album codes. Glyza won the other.
Woo!
Nightbot, you can't win. All right, Reggie has won the other one. We've got, that was 1, 2, 3. We have 2 more. There's my third, my fourth, and there we go for the 5th. All right, and last but not least, the Session 0 code goes to Joel. Yay! Our wonderful mods have won some prizes, so wonderful. And I don't need to send you guys whispers. Reggie, I will be sending you a whisper. You'll get a whisper from Halfling Nikki. So look out for that, for getting that prize to you. And then everyone else, I know who you are. I'm going to contact you other ways. But yeah, so thank you so much, Aliza, for being on. It was so nice to talk to you, and I hope you have so much fun on Delivery Dragons. I will be in the chat.
Yay, thank you so much. Thanks, Nikki.
We are